bro. And you wanted me dead. That's too effing bad. Go ahead and because the video just cut off, so that means that we're starting a new one. Go ahead and start at Galatians 1 again. And we're hold on, let me finish this. We're starting all over from Galatians 4 because the camera indicated that it was a new clip. So this is the lesson of the children of the promise.
It's Galatians 4:1. It says, "Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all."
All right. So we're children of the promise, but we're still children. So we're no different than a servant. But we're no different than a servant because we don't know anything. We have to be taught. Once you're able to make your own choices and make wise choices, then you get your promise fulfilled.
Because if a child is born, and that child, he has the heir. If he has the heir, that means he's Lord of all. But still, just because he's a child and he's Lord of all doesn't mean that he has to serve to be a servant. He still's got to be a servant, right?
Yeah.
It's because it says, "Differeth nothing from a servant." And then verse 2, it says, "But is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father."
Tutors, we know what tutors are. Tutors are teachers, basically teachers that show you stuff. And governors is the word governor means to rule the mind. So hey, you have to learn, and when we're speaking and you're listening, that's basically what you're doing. We're governing your mind. Now that man's mind couldn't be governed. He was rebellious. Go ahead.
It says,
No, you can pass.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean,
you know about the truth of the Bible,
The
sir?
tribes of Israel.
yep, that's right here.
That's right.
You see yourself on the sign?
These are the 12 tribes of Israel, who are the 12 sons of Israel right here on this side.
And that's what they're known as right now.
And today, they're called these names because these names, they got changed over time. So now we come to find out that the Negroes, they were from the tribe of Judah, you know, and
Which would make
the son of the Most High, he was from the tribe of Judah.
When you say Egypt, you mean like almost like Alexandria, too?
Well, Alexander, Egypt was when Alexander the Greek was in power, so there was a lot of white people there. So now, when Egypt, when we were there as slaves under Pharaoh with Moses, everybody was black. That's why we went to Egypt, because we tried to blend in. Now, when the Lord was born, the angel Gabriel told his father Joseph, go to Egypt and hide for a little bit. Now, that was the easy thing to do because they could blend in with the people. So we know that these people, Judah, have a throne.
We believe this belief in the Bible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it describes how the Son of the Most High, how he looked through his disciples. You know, they said that his skin was the color as if it was burnt in a furnace.
You read Revelation, right? That's where it says that.
Sometimes in some. How come Michael and Gabriel are not in there?
What do you mean? They're not tribes.
They were in the Bible.
Yeah, but they're not tribes. They're angels. This is for who the Bible is for. These people, but these people known. In ancient times we were this, but now we've been in captivity for so long, we know ourselves as this.
So you have, okay, so now you have Negroes and West Indians,
All the way down to Mexico. These are the Lord's chosen people right here.
Is the Mexicans way in the bottom?
Hey man, we're always on the bottom.
Hey, but at least we're on the sign. You know, if you're on the sign, that's
It doesn't
a good
matter
thing.
where you
I'm not
are.
Mexican.
What are you? Native American?
South Dakota.
South Dakota tribe?
Native American.
Well, you're Gad. You're from the tribe of Gad. You're the Lord's warrior.
I was born in Rapid City.
You could be born anywhere, brother. You're still a Gadite.
You know, the Lord's people.
This is nice to know. You guys have been standing here for how long?
Almost a year.
You mean today or just over time?
Since 11. Over time, we've been out here since last year.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah. Now, did you know that there's a big giant stone with Paleo Hebrew writing in New Mexico and Arizona, and it's the 10 Commandments? Now that's for our people. That's for the Gadites. You know, the Gads, because we live together. Gad is right here. North American Indians.
Do you actually believe the 10 Commandments?
Well, I believe
Be
it.
nice to your neighbor. Don't do this. Don't rob. And stuff
Well, there has to be a perfect explanations to get perfect understanding. Now, it's not talking about all your neighbors, your physical neighbors, because the white man's the devil, and if he's your neighbor, you're not gonna love him, right? Because we just had a white person over here yell at us, telling us,
yeah, but what if they don't love you?
well, you don't have to love them. I mean, you don't have to do anything for them. It just means to be peaceable. Like if I was your neighbor and I know you're from the tribe of Gad, I'll be like, hey, what's up, man? But that doesn't mean what people think it is. Because in John 3:16 it says that he loved the world, but the world means Israel.
Yeah, but some people, they downsize. They don't believe in that stuff, the
And
10 Commandments.
do you know that there's not only 10 commandments in the Bible? There's way more commandments. Did you know that? There's 613 commandments in the Bible, okay? So if you're only going off the 10 commandments,
Yeah,
then that's not good.
that's true.
And one of those commandments is that you cannot shave. You have to grow your beard out. So that's one commandment. So by shaving, that means you're sinning, right? So a lot of our people, they don't know that, you know. So that's why we're here to tell you the truth, you know, to come back.
Yeah, why is
Come back
that? You
to
guys
that.
don't shave. You guys have.
Well, King David didn't allow his men to shave. And there was an account where 3 of his men got captured and they got shaved, and he sent them away until the beard grew back. It's a
Because
Yeah, but
because
do
growing,
people, okay, when they see people like that with
Because
beards
look.
and stuff like that, they think, yo, you're from the ISIS, you're from Arabic, you're from
that's
over
ignorant.
there.
That's ignorant. I just want to have my beard because that belongs to a man, and that way people know I'm a man.
well, those Muslims, that's where they get it from. They get it from the Bible, you know, that you should grow your beard out. And that's why we grow our beards out. You know?
Okay, brother. I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home and go to sleep, and tomorrow I have to go to school.
All right. Well, we just wanted to let you know
Hey,
about
this
the
is-
truth.
What?
It's okay to
I mean, the book of Revelation, I was going
The
to
Holy Bible?
Yeah, this is
we can give
16,
you
11,
a,
the Holy Bible.
I don't have that one. I have
The newer one?
the other edition.
This is what it says about the Lord. This is Revelation 1 and 15, and let me start at 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unfine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice as the sound of rain water. And that's telling us that the Lord was a dark-skinned man, and he had hair like wool. So who has hair like wool?
What verse is that one?
This is the 1611 King James edition. So it was 1611. You can get it online. You can get it online. Just order it on Amazon.
Yeah, because right.
if you go to YouTube, just type in GMS, and you put your truth, and you'll see all kinds of videos, you know, telling you about the truth, you know, about how the Lord, how He really lived, who His chosen people are, you know, and how to come back to the commandments,
Yeah.
things like that.
And if you want verification to know that you are Israelite, it's in.
Verification, I'll just go to my church right there in Gateway in Bethesda.
Also,
you can go
you know,
to
Pastor
uh,
Ed.
you have to know his name, okay, and his son's name, because it's not Jesus, because they weren't calling him that when he was here on the planet, when he was born. They weren't calling him J because the letter J didn't come out until 1632. Okay, so what they were calling him is an ancient Hebrew, okay, and it's his son's name is Yahweh, okay, and the father is Yahweh. That's the Heavenly Father's name. So you call on those names have power in it, okay? Now when you call on Jesus, that has no power because that's a made-up name. You know, his disciples didn't even know about the letter J back then, right?
Yeah, they didn't even know because it wasn't used. It was just made up to be like the letter I. So the I is a Roman numeral and represents 1. So it would be representing 1 and the letter Y. Now in Deuteronomy 28 and from 15 to 68, it tells us about the curses that we would suffer. Now, you know that you would be a Gadite because it tells you right here that we would be strangers in our own land. And tell me the North American is not a stranger in their own land. We can't do what we used to do before. Like, have you ever seen Wounded Knee?
Yeah, because our land is far away from Jerusalem and Bethlehem and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're way out there.
Yeah,
almost like Canada.
We came over here by the Assyrian captivity. See, there's a lot of questions, and that takes a lot of reading. But if you find these things out for yourself, you'll be convinced that hey, we are the.
I different things from myself because I'm pretty sure from Egypt. She knew about the pyramids and she knew about way before.
Yeah, we built pyramids in New Mexico and in all the North Americas because there's the mounds in Missouri, you know, the snake mounds. And the Lord was known as a feathered serpent. He was as a serpent that homicide and death. That was also Quetzalcoatl, and for the Mayans.
Look, this is the Holy Bible.
I know. That one right there,
It's the same.
that's the same one that you have. Mine is different from this one.
Right here it says, these are the, can you read that word right there?
I don't have my reading glasses on. I just
Okay,
have-
well, it says, it's supposed to say journey, okay? But instead of a letter J, it's a letter I. That's because 16 months, you have no letter J.
The word Jesus, and the word Jesus doesn't even mean it.
That was back in those days. I mean, you're.
So,
Well, you guys, I'm gonna go.
all right,
I'm glad to meet you guys and stuff like that.
you're from the tribe of
My
Gad.
name is Michael.
Remember, you're Israelite.
Michael Joseph Cordova. I see my middle name is Joseph, like the orphan.
And Joseph, the first pharaoh of Egypt, was one of the brothers of the 12 tribes, and he was pharaoh of Egypt.
My mom made me like that. Michael Joseph Cordova.
Michael is the angel of the Arabic.
Michael, the archangel, and gave Joseph the father.
Yep, see, that's spiritual.
Hey, you guys,
All
it's
right,
nice
brother.
meeting you.
Well, you're a Hebrew Israelite.
Okay.
The tribe of Gad.
Thank you
We'll
guys.
be here next Saturday.
Every Saturday. Let's go back to we're getting coffee. Hey, and it's about time. It's about freaking time. That makes me feel good too. Because people are coming to ask. People are coming to fight. Hey, 2 people asked. 4 people came to fight. And everybody else is looking. I feel like we're progressing. You know, we're making this count. Hey,
It's not a labor in vain.
it's always beautiful to answer questions. It's always beautiful to answer questions. And whatever that man was going through right now in his life, even if he's a fucking sodomite, if he stops that shit and repents, he can be saved. Because I just got that sort of weak vibe from him, you know. But you know,
Kind of smell liquor on it too.
hey, our people are fucked up. Our people are fucked up. Our people are fucked up, man. Real fucked up. Because that's what it says right here in Galatians 1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant. Because it's childish to drink your self away, man. That's childish. That shows you that we're an oppressed people. Like slaves.
Because when you drink all the time, you know, that's like, you know, a king wants to drink all the time, wants to lay back and chill back and drink. But a servant, he's sober all the time. He's always on his heels. He's always, you know.
Yeah, you can't drink all the time. So that's how you know this guy's a slave. He feels bad about something. Remorseful. All right, go ahead with verse 2.
This is Galatians 4:2. It says, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father.
Hey, right now is the time appointed of the Father, man, because we have to tell everybody. We're coming out here to tell you, Israelites, we're here to help you. understand who you are, understand why you're facing these problems. And this is a big job, man. This is a big responsibility, man. This is a big responsibility.
Because it says under tutors until the appointed time of the father, and that could be until your whole life. So you could have to be under tutor your whole life.
Because the time of the Father is when Yahweh Shai comes back and fucks everything up and delivers us simultaneously.
It says even so when we were children, we were in bondage. It says when we were children, we're in bondage under the elements of the world.
If you're in bondage under the elements of the world, like we are right now, that means you're susceptible to being hurt, getting killed, people rioting against you, people coming up against you. You're just out here. But we also know that we're being protected.
Yeah, because before we came into the truth, we were children, under the elements of the world. Like we didn't know about anything. We didn't know about any commandments. But the next verse it says, but when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth His Son, made of a woman, made under the law.
Okay, so made of a woman, that means that a man had to impregnate her.
Yep. Made of a woman. So it came out of a woman's womb.
And the only way that a baby can come out of a woman's womb is that the sperm goes in there to attach itself to the egg and form an embryo. Okay? Under the law, meaning that she was promised to Joseph. Because that's how we used to do it back in the day. Today's a good day, man.
Because even though the Son of the Most High was born, He was still under the law.
Yeah, he had to get circumcised. He had to live with his parents, do this, do that, go to the observe the high holy days. But as soon as he became a man, he was a prophet. He was prophesying out there.
But this world is backwards, because first off you start off as a servant, and then you got to do like hard work and shit, and then when you make it up to the highs, now you don't have to do shit. Now you can just stand around and let the other people do shit. But that ain't how it is in the Bible.
And that's how it happened for Jacob. Jacob had to work his ass off for his 2 wives for 14 years, and then another 7 years to get his riches. So we are children of the promise. We have to work to get our riches.
Even though we got that promise,
Yeah.
we can't just receive that promise right now.
And riches don't mean trillions of dollars, you fucking dumbass. This nigga said that he had trillions of dollars in 1976 when there wasn't no fucking trillions of dollars. There wasn't even $1 billion in 76, man. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was just making shit up. This is Galatians 4:4. It says, the Most High sent forth His Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
Okay, so under the law, meaning Hebrew Israelites. So what does that mean now? That means that only Hebrew Israelites can follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Holy Bible. Everybody else is pretty much sinner. Everybody else is wicked. We know that Edomites are the children of the wicked, and the children of men are going to be slaves to the children of Israel, to the children of the Most High. But how are you going to get that promise if you don't know you're an Israelite? If a rich man dies, who's going to get his inheritance? His heir. Only Jerusalem and Israel will be heirs in the kingdom. See see that man was walking this way and he was trying to listen. Then he got disenchanted for some reason, man. And we had a lot of customers today, huh? Because remember we had that Jake walk by earlier and he was like, yeah, I know the truth. And he just kept on walking.
Oh yeah.
So when we get redeemed, that means we have to get bought back. That's an important word too, man. Because you can't get bought back unless you were sold the first time. Letting you know that you had to be a slave. And that if you are the son of the promise, you're going to get redeemed. You're going to get bought back. Go ahead.
This is Galatians 4 and 6. And because ye are sons, the Most High hath sent forth the Spirit of His Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father.
So the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is the spirit of prophecy. The spirit of going out in the street, preaching the truth, getting told that they want to kill you, getting told this, that, and the other, people staring at you, laughing at you, pointing at you.
Because the Most High's elect are the ones who are crying out to Abba the Father.
And nobody else is, because everybody else is comfortable in this life, in this situation.
It says, wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of the Most High through Mashiach.
So, if we are sons of the Most High, that means that we're brothers to Yahweh Shai. If we are sons to Yahweh, then we're brothers to Yahweh Shai. And if Yahweh Shai has everything that the Father gave him, you know, you want to get John 17 and I already got it. John 17 and good stuff to read in here, but you know, this is John 17 and 9. I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So we're glorifying the name of Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai glorified the name of his Father Yahweh. That's why we say Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So he doesn't pray for the whole world. And guess what? That word world there is cosmos. So he's saying that he doesn't pray for all of Israel. He prays for the elect of Israel. So now this is verse 11. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I came to thee. Holy Father, keep through thine own name those who them hast given me, that they may be one as we are. So in his name, in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, will we be safe. That's why I was yelling that name, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, in that devil's face. I was breaking them down. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that one. So, likewise, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is the creator of everything, is the owner of everything, the master of everything. So, if you ever remember when you were growing up and you learned how to drive, you would always ask your dad for the car on the weekend, right? Well, he would give you the car on the weekend because he loved you. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai loves us. And we haven't asked anything but for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on the scriptures. So that's what he gives us. But he's going to give us more. Because everything that's his is Yahweh Shai's, and everything that Yahweh Shai's is ours. And you know, that's why we're co-heirs. But we have to be prophets. I mean, you could be an Israelite, just a regular Israelite, but you're not going to get as much as the prophets. Right?
This is Galatians 4:7. Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then a heir of the Most High through Mashiach. So it's saying a son of God. So just like how they say a God, when you get there's a thing called a godson and a godfather. And when they pick a godson, they only pick one son. They don't pick all the sons, right? That's why they call it a godson. And it says, howbeit then, when ye knew not the Most High, ye did service unto them, which by nature are no gods.
So Jesus is no God. Mary is no God. George Washington is no God. You're just doing lip service and saying, oh, you this God, that God. Allah, whatever you're calling on, man. If you ain't calling on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're just calling to the wind, calling to in vain. Because let's say you have a son, and he's crying out for you because he got hurt, and you're within earshot. If you hear him call out for you, you're gonna know that it's your son. And you're going to respond to that crisis in a way that you never responded before. So right now, we're in a crisis situation. We're being attacked by these devils. We're being persecuted by this media. We're being persecuted by other Israelite brothers. We're being persecuted by these Christians. It looks gloomy. It looks bad for us. It really does. Hey, guess what? I have a feeling deep down in my heart, in my lahab, in my mind, that we are going to be saved. And that's all I'm really looking forward to. The extras, like slaves, well, when I get that cracker ass motherfucker as my slave, I'm gonna kick him in his fucking mouth. First thing. And I'm gonna tell him, you remember this? You remember this time? Boom! And all his teeth are gonna be flying out. And I'm gonna have the power to stop them in the air and put him back in his mouth and kick him out again. He's gonna get it. He earned a special spot.
It says Galatians 4:9, but now after that ye have known the Most High, or rather are known of the Most High, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements, whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage?
Okay, you gotta be very ignorant to go back into bondage. Because right here in the beginning of it, but now after that ye have known God, because you don't know God if you're calling on God. You don't know God if you're calling on Jesus. The only way you can know the power of the universe, the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is with the names. You got to know the real images. Also, or rather are known of Yahweh, because once you say the name, like I said earlier, if your son falls or gets hurt and he calls out to you, you're going to respond. You're going to be like, that's my son. So now Yahweh knows you know his name. Now he's like, hey, that's my son. He's calling me. I got to help him. That's what I read in John 17:9.
Because it said before you knew the Most High, you were under the elements of the world. But it says, now that ye have known the Most High, or rather have known of the Most High, how turn ye again to back to the beggarly elements?
To the weak and beggarly elements.
Yep. Because are you want to go into bondage again? Because once you come into the truth, then the Most High tells you how to use the elements of the world instead of the elements using you. Right?
Yes.
Because we didn't know about eating pork. We didn't know about what other elements is there?
The real names. You were using the fake names, and your fake pastors weren't even taking care of you. They were looking at you, trying to molest you. You were under the elements of the demons, people getting possessed by demons, or you getting possessed by demons. Because you didn't have that sword, the name, which is the double-edged sword, cutting everything and anything. To the asunder, dividing both spirit from flesh. Go ahead.
And it says, ye observe days and months and times and years.
Yeah, like I don't know if everybody must remember, but last year there was a eclipse, and we had a brother that wanted to go see that eclipse. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but he was like, oh, we got to see it, or if we don't see it, he just fucking had to go see it. You don't have to go see shit. You have to believe it.
Yeah, because most of the days and most of the months, most of the years, they set up their own holidays. Their own observance.
Shit, man. Damn, there's a bunch of wicked holidays. Right?
It says, I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain.
And thank you, how about Shimi Shai, that it wasn't bestowed in vain. Because now we can work out our own salvation.
So we could tell that to somebody that we told the truth to, like somebody who came into the truth and we told them, but now they went back into the truth, and now we're afraid that we
Went back into the world.
Yeah, they went back into the world, but now they're laboring in vain. Now we're afraid that we led them astray, or
No, we didn't lead him astray. He led himself astray.
it says, lest I have bestowed
Upon you.
labor in vain. Meaning I put on you.
And Yahweh didn't put any labor upon us or people that fell out in vain. Well, the people that fell out was labor in vain, but it serves for a lesson for us. We don't want to be no fallouts. You want to go ahead to verse 21?